UFC 306. The Mexican Independence Day card taking place in Las Vegas, main evented by an American and a Georgian, while being sponsored by Saudi Arabia. Are you lot confused by that? Because the way you're probably confused right now is the same confusion I feel when I look at this card. And I'm gonna tell you why Dana's delusion is gonna be the downfall of UFC 306. I know a lot of people have talked about the ticket prices and whatnot. I'm just gonna go into it briefly. They're just too expensive, mate. Yeah, it's done for the working class. Ticket prices are just way too high. They've lowered them recently because, well, as you can see, they're yet to sell out naturally because they are too expensive and because Canelo's fighting on the same night. So it's a bit of a rough one at the minute. Look, the UFC atmosphere, it should be like football or WWE, yeah, where you've got people there watching that look like their children bite other people's children. Those are the kind of people that you want at the event, yeah, because they're gonna be making all the noise. That's how you get those raucous atmospheres. Yeah, you don't want these mugs in suits, yeah, sitting there the whole time. They see a knockout and their face is like this, bro, and they don't even know who's fighting at the main event. But that's what UFC is flipping becoming, mate. Because Dana's charging a premium. I remember I was thinking about going to Manchester to watch Edwards versus Bilal. And what were the cheapest tickets at the time that I could get my hands on? Like 3.5 grand. Absolutely mental. 3.5 grand for US time as well. I'd come out and it's daytime. It's ridiculous, man. But yeah, let's just have a look at the card real quick because it is an absolute shambles. I mean, look, the three headliner fights, great fights, super fun fights. But you go down the card, it's just a bit abysmal. I mean, look, you've got Ode Osborne here. He's been rear naked choked back to back in his last two fights. Um, what they've done here is they've kind of just shoehorned in a bunch of Mexican fighters, right? Naturally, because it's the Mexican card, but I mean, they're not great Mexican fighters, are they? I mean, and they put them up against bums. I mean, look, you've got Joshua Van. We all saw what happened to Joshua Van, right? His soul got upcutted out of his body by Charles Johnson. I mean, have a look at this. Look, the press conference tomorrow, right? He's right there. He's right there. Yeah, Rodriguez is right there. Why is he not fighting on the card? Moreno, I understand. Um, he couldn't make the card. He's fighting in November. It looks like he couldn't recover in time. But forget Tracy Cortez, right? Yair Rodriguez is right there. Why is he not fighting on the card? Why? It's an outrage. It's an outrage. Where were the good Mexican fighters? The known Mexican fighters? Henry Cejudo, right? The Mexicans love that guy, right? They love him. Where's Cejudo? Yeah, Kelvin Gastelum, right? That's a Mexican man. Where are all these well-established Mexican names that people would want to see on this card? Oh, honestly, man. Let's have a listen to this really quickly. Just 10-second video.
Created. So my goal in this thing is to be nominated for an Oscar, an Emmy, and a Grammy. So yes, there will be a documentary.
Dana White, he's been getting on my chops recently, right? This guy is a dopamine spectacle merchant, right? Just like the way he only wants knockouts because of the spectacle, he's now turned UFC 306 into some sort of spectacle in order to fulfill his excessive dopamine intake. Ooh, knockouts, dopamine. Ooh, movies before fight. Dopamine. Oh, a big screen around the arena. Dopamine. So angry. At least this guy's fighting on the card. At least Raul Rosas Jr. is fighting on the card. I like Raul Rosas Jr., man. I like him. You know, I think he's probably the only man on earth who can't be rear naked choked solely because of his chin. Like, you'll either not be able to get your arm around it or you'll cut yourself trying to. I'm excited to see Raul Rosas Jr. fight. I think he's actually kicking off the card too. But since we're talking about the fighters, let's talk about the main event, right? This man right here, one half of the main event, Merab Dvalishvili. Now, there was a picture going around of Merab with a cut over his eye, which he revealed to the whole world, God knows why. And also looked like he had staph on his leg or something. If that is staph, he's even in bigger trouble than I thought he originally was. Look, I like the main event, but I feel like the outcome is just so predictable. You know, O'Malley, he's just so rangy. He understands distance so well. Merab loves to overextend, and he's been caught multiple times. He's been caught by Cejudo and Moraes. Although I don't think O'Malley's gonna catch him with the same shot, right? Which is what a lot of people have been saying. Cejudo and Moraes managed to catch Merab in the pocket. O'Malley's not going to give up his range and that distance in order to throw shots in the pocket. It's just not going to happen. O'Malley's just going to have to throw one big shot that catches Merab. You know, whether it's the same shot he caught Aljo with, which is a possibility, right? Because just like Aljo likes to overextend, so does Merab. And I think it's gonna be a first round knockout courtesy of Sean Sugar O'Malley. I mean, look, like I said, we've seen Merab get clocked by Cejudo, Moraes, and there's actually one more individual that Merab's been clocked by. You see it in this video. Yeah? Oh, that hurt my head. There you go. So Mira's been rocked by Henry Cejudo, yeah, Marlon Moraes, and Ice. But yeah, I mean, look, I understand what UFC and Dana are trying to do. They're trying to put Sean O'Malley on this kind of pedestal and boost him into stardom, a bit like they've done with Alex Pereira now. And you know, I think it's worked out perfectly for them because Merab's going to be the perfect opponent, you'd think, right? Similar to the Aljo fight, you know, not great on the feet. He's going to overextend. It's going to give O'Malley the perfect opportunity to maybe throw that counter left hand and catch Merab on the chin and get that highlight reel knockout, which would be a great kind of ending to the event to UFC 306 that Dana would be looking for. But yeah, I wanna have a look at this really quickly. Ode Osborne, and I believe he was asked his emotions about his emotions regarding being on this card, and his reply to the question, the answer to the question is quite you know, revealing.
It almost feels like a high school experience where you get invited to the cool party and you're kind of the nerd and you show up and people are like, "What's he doing here?" You know, it's kind of, you know.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's very telling, isn't it? He's basically saying, oh, I don't know how I got on this card, right? I don't know how I did it. Yeah, I'm a nerd. Yeah, and I should not be on this card, but it's just happened. And this is Dana's fault. Yeah, this is Dana's fault. He should have got killers on this card. I know they're literally like 23 million dollars like down in the flipping dumps, from this card and whatnot, but come on, man. When your fighters is basically saying, I don't know how I got this card, and he's still on the card, that's a problem, right? That's how do you expect the fans to respond to that? Oh, honestly, mate. I've got another video lined up here, and it's Dana White actually talking about how the event's gonna work, right? So let's have a little listen.
Then the fighters will walk out, and hopefully what we're hoping is then the fight is the star of the show. When that's over, there will be another movie, then a fight. And this movie that I'm talking about in these chapters will tell the history of combat sports in Mexico, the history.
Right, I'll be honest. Alright, it's super novelty and whatnot, but I don't mind the little 90-second movie videos or whatever it is that he's gonna play before the fights. Look, UFC used to do super sick promos. Like, do you remember UFC 205? UFC 205 was class. Yeah, the promo that they played prior to the event. Remember, when they went underground train station or whatnot. You had Conor McGregor in that swanky suit. Who was it? Tyron Woodley in a cafe grabbing a coffee, whatever it was. Yeah, the music. Yuri Prochaska loved it so much that he used the music as his entrance music against Alex Pereira. You remember that? This is our time. There's no turning back. That one, yeah. That was the promo music. My problem is, right? What if they play this crazy 90-second like movie, right? And it's amazing, and it gets you hyped up, and you get this temporary testosterone boost, and you're gassed, and then you're like, yes, come on, what's the next fight? And then you see Yasmin Drigui and Caitlin Souza come out. Or you see Edgar Chairez versus Joshua Van. Adrenaline dump. Yeah, disappointment. After all that, after this sick promo package, and then you have to watch bums fight. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. In fact, Dana says something else here that I want you to
History of the Mexican people, their traditions. It is what I call the love letter to Mexico.
Oh, the love letter to Mexico. Oh, isn't that lovely, Dana? So the boxing is giving the Mexican fans a car, yeah? And that car is called Canelo Alvarez. But what's Dana White giving the Mexican fans, huh? A love letter. What a little simp. A love letter. They're getting Canelo, the Mexican boxing fans. Well, Dana White's giving the Mexican boxing fans bloody Manuel Torres and Irene Aldana, Ronaldo Rodriguez. Oh, mate, honestly. Oh. And, well, naturally, Dana's been getting a lot of criticism for this, and it's his own fault because he was saying things like this.
Again, if you are Mexican and you are on this, it's going to be like nothing anybody's ever seen before.
Nothing anyone's ever seen before. He was gassing up for the longest time, saying, "Oh, who's gonna be better than UFC 300 and whatnot." My other problem is how you're gonna translate that kind of experience that you're gonna create inside the sphere to the fans that are watching at home on pay-per-view, right? Because I mean, it's not gonna be the same. Do you not remember Fight Island? Right, we all thought, oh, Fight Island's gonna be class. Oh, can't wait to watch the first event on Fight Island. And then the venue comes around like, oh, it's just a regular venue. it's just so novelty. And I think that we're talking about, I know there's 10 fights on the event, but we're still talking about, 5, 6, 7 hour event, and you think that the novelty is gonna wear out after the first few fights, right? Especially the non-Mexican fans. We don't care, right, about the Mexican history of fighting, right? If I was just me, I could just watch a documentary on YouTube or something, right? I don't know, man. And naturally, another reason Dana's getting so much criticism is because, I mean, have a look at this UFC 308. I mean, that is bonkers, right? That is bonkers. This card is bonkers. I mean, you got Cheryl Bully, right, on the prelims. You got Jeff Neal and Rafael Dos Anjos on the prelims. You've got Oral Bay, the 26-year-old fake age. He's actually about 68 years old, and he's a direct descendant of Genghis Khan on the early prelims. But nah, Dana, that card's not good, is it? This is the card, right? This card is absolutely fantastic. Now, I'm telling you right now, after Chiwiwi's fights me, I'm taking a lengthy little nap, yeah? Until we get, look, Zelhuba versus Rubovic, that could actually be an entertaining fight. But these are the big three fights. These three. And, I mean, yeah, I think that's it. Press conference tomorrow. Might make a video on that, depending on how it goes. And yeah, got a prediction video coming out. We're gonna do a watch along, a breakdown of the event. So I mean, stay tuned for all of that.